The couples have spent their first night together and now they're headed to their honeymoon in Riviera Maya, Mexico. Married at First Sight, Season 20, Episode 4. Cameron and Michelle. They are right now the most uneventful couple that are on the show. After the first night, Michelle says she's very comfortable with Cameron. She says the first night with him wasn't awkward at all. When they arrive in Mexico, they're sitting in the room having a conversation, and Cameron lets her know that when he is feeling a way about something, he doesn't often express it immediately because he doesn't like confrontation. And a lot of men are like that. But for some reason, immediately, Michelle starts tearing up. And I'm like, girl, what happened? What's going on? She was like, oh, I get emotional when I open up. Well, let's open up first so we can figure out what's going on. But she tells him about her fibroid situation and how difficult conception or uh, fertility can be in the future for them. And I get it. That's an emotional thing. She just has cried so much. She cries every episode. I was getting annoyed, and then I realized what it was, so I had to dial it back. She explains that she's frozen her eggs, but she doesn't know how that's gonna go. And after the initial shock wore off, because I can tell, like at first I feel like he was like, "Nah, I told these people that I wanted kids. Or what's going on?" But after it wore off, he told her he understands and that his sister's adopted, so that's always an option. And I love the way he handled that, but I don't really think I don't know if he actually feels that way. I think it was just shock and wanting to be politically correct on camera. Not that, there's anything wrong with adoption or anything wrong with IVF or however they have to go. I just think that he wasn't expecting that. He know what he asked for. Nikki and Sean. Now I got to give it to Miss Nikki. Nikki has been trying. She's putting her best foot forward, and Sean is too. So when she was sitting in the bed with that headband on, fresh off the wake up, and she slept in that headband, I don't know what it's doing for her hair. Hair look good, so I guess it works. I might need to try it. Sean comes in with coffee, and I was like, this can't be the Sean that the girls on TikTok talking about. Honey, y'all got to get over there to TikTok and listen to them the girls talk about dating Sean and their experiences with dating Sean. I ain't going to tell his business on here. I'm going to let y'all find that out on the TikTok. Honey, Sean said that 69 comment had threw him off. Honey, it caught him off guard. I said, well, if it caught you off guard and you said it, imagine how we felt. He told her, he was like, I realized that I just need to sit back and watch you shine. She was like, yeah, I was going to tell you that last night. These people are crazy. Nikki lets us know that, she's not attracted to him. We already knew that. But she says she feels like it can grow. So it's not growing yet, but she feels like it can grow. As soon as they get to Mexico, they're offered, they get to the resort, and of course they give you a drink as soon as you walk in the door. And they toast, and here he is begging for a kiss again. And she obliges. She gives it to him this time because she is trying. The thing about Sean is he does those like face swallowing kisses, like he does the fish lips, and that just gets on my nerves. It's like they put the wettest part of their lips onto your lips, and it's like they're trying to suck your face in. Anyway, let me focus. So Nikki lets us know, honey, she's no longer tired. Only thing that's on her mind is pool. She's naming stuff: pool, massages, food, sun. Sean put his 2 cents in. Sean said, "No clothes, take them off." See, wait a minute, Sean. I don't think that's where she was going. Nikki said, "Hold on, what's that about?" He was like, "No. I'm saying I want to be as naked as possible, but still appropriate." Sean, it's that liquor. Every time Sean get a drop of liquor in his system, he get to cutting up. Last night it was 69. Today you talking about no clothes, take them off. It's just too much. Y'all, Nikki is a really good 46. Body is T. Now Sean, on the other hand, Sean got a dad bod. And Nikki trying to figure out how he got that dad bod because he ain't no dad. He ain't got no kids. But he's comfortable with his dad bod. He knows it's a dad bod. He said he ain't his old football playing self no more, honey, but he ain't never been scared to take that shirt off. And Nikki was like, well, take it off then. He took it off, and he ain't lying. It was definitely giving dad bod. Ain't nothing wrong with the dad bod. So they're chilling by the pool, and Nikki was like, what did you think when you first saw me coming down the aisle? And he was like, I turned around and I said, oh, this is a beautiful lady, something to that effect. What he said wasn't important. What was important is when it was Nikki's turn to go, she said, and I came out and I saw a gorgeous audience. I said, wait a minute. He was like, you said gorgeous so strongly. I thought you was talking about me. So they get into this conversation about the old Sean. And Nikki said, who was the old Sean? He was like, I was just all about me. Me first, everything, and everybody else the next, second. And she was like, oh, I can relate to that. I was the same way, but I've grown. So he was like, well, how did you grow? And she was like, well, I like my house really clean, but if somebody come and move something and they don't put it back where they got it from, I tell them that I need them to put it back. It was just a crazy example. And he was like, no, but my question was, I said, because I'm with Nikki on that. I don't like that. I don't like those kind of phrases, those kind of terms. He said, oh, but my question was, and she was like, am I being interviewed right now? And that just took on a whole life of its own. And I couldn't even. The thing about Nikki is, if she didn't want to answer the question, she shouldn't have started to answer the question. She shouldn't have pretended to answer the question. She just said that's too heavy for right now. That's what she should have just let him know. But I can't stand somebody to do that. But my question was, or didn't I just tell you, or that it falls in that category for me. Anyway, this ain't about me. Belle, aka the female version of Becca, child. Belle wants more. She does, and she's very gentle yet vocal about it. Like she's practically begging at this point. She's like, okay, we've been friends for 12 whole minutes, and I just need to know. Like, I need you to lead, so I can follow you right out of these panties. Okay, she trying to get out of them, and overall, she's happy. She likes him. She thinks because he's not really opening up. She likes him, but she's trying not to friend zone him. And he even said, it's like, hey girl, I feel like I'm talking to my best friend. It's like, hey girl, we kiki, we spill the tea. I said, spill the tea? Okay, girl, what you trying to tell us? Like, what's going on? But they look really good together. She wants him to lead, and I don't feel like he's capable of that leadership because his father leads from degradation and humiliation, and it's just, I feel like he lacks confidence because of that. But he hides his lack of confidence by kind of staying in the safe zone, in the friend zone. If I don't push, she can't pull, that kind of thing. Somehow, Belle still feels like there is some feelings between them after like 4 days. So, yeah, I don't know. Felipe and Tori. So she keeps mentioning being cheated on in between them complimenting each other every few seconds. And he keeps mentioning cheating. I'm like, okay, now. But come to find out, he just made out with the girl. I thought he at least had a one night stand or something. That's just, Don't get me wrong. The makeout session that he had with the girl was still cheating. Okay, he still cheated. But when he was talking to the guys, he made it seem like, he went all the way. He cheated, and he forgot about it. You forgot about it because it was a kiss. He is trying to convince her that, or us, or I don't know why he's saying this out loud, but he said, he felt so terrible about it that, he he just blocked it out of his mind. I guess it was so traumatic for him that he had, like, whatever people get when it goes away. And the girl found out about it, and she brought it up to him. And if she would have never did that, he would have never known he cheated, because he had forgot all about it. So he asked her, how did you find out, or whatever. Now, this story had me a little all over the place. Okay, let's break this down. She said she had a key to his apartment, right? So she took him to the airport. She left the airport. She went back to his apartment. While she was at his apartment, she got a hey girly message. I don't know what this got to do with anything, but I don't know if it was social media or what. But she got a hey girly message. And basically it was from this 24-year-old girl who was clearly his side chick, because the girl sent her screenshots of the conversations, and she was like, yeah, clearly a side chick. So she gets the girl, she takes her out for drinks, and she was more upset that the girl was so young. She was the age of her younger sister. She was more upset about that than him actually cheating. I was a little confused. And then she said she took while he was gone, she got a U-Haul and she went to his house and took all her stuff. Now, having a key to somebody's house is one thing. Having enough stuff at their house to fit in a U-Haul is a whole other thing. You were living there. And it's like it's almost like you don't want to say that you were living there because you said you was a Christian. Girl, we know what y'all mean when you say Christian. We know exactly what you're talking about. Anywho. So we find out she's a Christian and he is an atheist. He doesn't believe. So she pauses for a second and she immediately jumps into, well, how do you feel about babies getting baptized? I'm like, that's the only question. He was like, from my perspective, it's just a baby in some water. Like, it don't really bother me. It don't move me. But if it's important to you, it's important to me. That is those are the words of a good husband, if you mean them. I'm sorry, a good spouse, if you mean them. Felipe gonna mention that he get hit on all the time at this restaurant if he don't mention nothing else. He's like, yeah, I get hit on all the time at my restaurant. And child, them people trying to get free food. I hate to tell it to you like that, honey, but it ain't you, it's the pasta. Adam and Marissa, I didn't get a lot out of them. I don't know. If you made it this far, please like and share your opinion in the comments. And go ahead and subscribe too. Adam and Marissa, we didn't get a lot from them this episode. I did like Adam this episode though. He wasn't giving what I thought he was gonna give. I thought every time she picked up a cup of alcohol, he was gonna be like, you know how many calories are in that? You need more discipline. Alcohol ain't nothing but poison. If you want to retire by 40, you need to put that cup there. I just knew he was gonna be that guy. But he wasn't. He was complimenting her. He was actively listening to her. They look so good together. Nice bodies. Both of them look very disciplined. I don't know. I like Adam. He better not embarrass me. I didn't say that out loud. He better not embarrass me. I thought it was cute when she told him he looks like a Abercrombie man. That word has always torn me up. One of those models from the 99 and the 2000. And she is so right. He really did look like the posters that used to be inside that store. Nick and Courtney. Child, Courtney's turned off and I understand why. Okay, they wake up the next day and after their first night, she's like, you don't snore, but I noticed you just start shedding your clothes. Your pants over here, your shirt over there. It's kind of awkward in the morning for them. They get up to go make coffee, and he can't fix he don't know how to work the coffee machine. She like, do you know how to fix things? He like, no. She said, oh, that's one thing them experts got wrong. She said it to him. I said, okay. So after they get to Mexico, he's trying to open this bottle so they can have their little, what is it called? Celebratory drink. He can't open the liquor. He can't get the bottle open. So she like, let me see. She opened it on the first try without any effort. He was like, oh, now I'm embarrassed. She said, oh, you should be. And she's right. So she gets the bottle open. He makes a drink. He puts the drink in the shaker. He starts shaking it. The alcohol going everywhere. The top then fell off. He's laughing, but she did not look amused, and I was not either, because you can't fix nothing. You can't open a bottle, and you clumsy. See, you can't do stuff, honey. I can't stand a man who can't do stuff. You got to be able to do something, and you can't do stuff. Like, men do miscellaneous stuff. You can't do stuff. Like, damn, like, work with me. In his confessionals, he is trying to convince himself, us, and production that he is having the time of his life and they are on the right path and he's so happy with where they are. He is just trying to finish strong because he think this is a game show. He think he going to win something by saying, we're going to stay together at the end. He and like he having the time of his life, and then Courtney over here contemplating ending hers because she bored. She is bored out of her mind, and he just resting up for his his next reality show. Yeah, Nick is sleep. Nick sleep here. Nick sleep there. Nick is sleep everywhere. He gotta get his rest. He got all these applications. You know, getting on these reality shows is hard. You gotta put it in an application. You gotta let the people know you're interested. Then they interview you not once, not twice, sometimes 4 or 5 times. They gotta make sure you're right fit for the show. He is a career reality TV star. That's the thing. He did let it slip that, he had an itch for the performing arts when he was in school, but his parents wanted him to do the academics, so he did. And when he got out of college, he still had that itch, so he started scratching it by applying to all these TV shows, and he got on them. This show is another itch, and I'm sorry, he still has the itch, and this show is the scratch. So he's still doing what he's doing. When he asked if she was artsy or had, any artsy talent or whatever, she was like, "Yeah, I like to draw like bubble bubble letters." Okay, girl. She was like, "But I'm more of a doer," and I get it. But in my unprofessional opinion, she might need some Ritalin or some Adderall. She gotta calm down. She just jumpy. She like the fastest bagger I know. I don't know. But I wouldn't be able to do it at hyper. That energy has to go somewhere. She need to go to the gym or go for a run or something. Like, you got to calm down. She just needs to be doing something, clean and do. You got to give her something to do. Caitlyn and Devin. Devin is getting on Caitlyn's nerves and she is getting on mine. Okay. He is like a clingy puppy and she just wants to be left alone. You were alone before you signed up to be on this show. You signed up to not be alone, but you want to be alone. She said she's a black cat and he's a golden retriever, meaning she's a person that you have to like earn her trust. She has to warm up to you. She ain't just friendly like that. And then with him, he's a golden retriever looking for anybody to spread love to. They're very friendly. Now, I don't know if it's like the attraction is not there or if her intuition is, because sometimes as women, like we can feel when something ain't right. And I don't know if her intuition is telling her like this is a bad idea, he's a bad choice. Either way, if she gonna be on my TV, she need to get with the program, okay? Because I'm tired of watching you sign up to get married and not want to be married. She did say that his touchiness doesn't bother her, and I guess that's a good sign, because as a person who doesn't really like to be touched, I know what it's like when you meet somebody and you don't mind that touch. It's I don't know how to explain it, but there are a few people whose touch I don't mind. One thing that stood out to me was Caitlyn talking about her parents always, came together to resolve their issues. But she can't even tell this man that she only want to be married during business hours. Like, just tell him how you feel instead of, like, being mean and standoffish. But, I think it was her. One of them asked the other one, did you think we would click like this so soon? And he was like, well, I wasn't expecting to hook up. She was like, oh, I would have never done that. Like, that was never going to happen. Anyway. I understand that she's a slow burner. I do. I get it. But damn, you got to at least turn on the stove, girl. Turn the stove on, okay? The couples meet up. Like, comment, subscribe if you've made it this far. So everybody looks amazing. And Becca, they done coined the name Becca. Becca is coordinating. They look really good. Everybody has jokes with Felipe. They said this is as quiet as they've ever seen him. Caitlyn gets to Felipe and she just not Caitlyn, Courtney gets a hold of Felipe. They just having a simple conversation and she can't control herself and she's having the time of her life for the first time since she left America. She lets us know that, she want to talk to him 24/7. I said, oh, no, girl, that's somebody's husband and you somebody's wife. Don't get on here saying that. You don't need to document that. They're all sharing their experiences with each other. Eventually, the women and the men split up, and everybody's sharing their experiences, and everybody's pretty much the same, except for that Marissa. Marissa's sneaky. I could tell by the way Adam had walked up and kissed her that they hadn't been. They've been doing it. They've been over there hunching. I could tell. But he said he won't kiss and tell, and she wouldn't. She wouldn't tell anybody either. Then they get to Courtney, who's kind of like, I'm not feeling it, and that, that's okay. While Courtney is complaining to Caitlin, Nick comes and sits right next to her. You know how when you're talking about somebody and they get real close to you, you gotta act like you don't know what's going on, or you having a conversation that your kids don't know about, or hell, your husband, whoever, and you have to kind of just change the direction of the conversation. When she felt him sit down, she was like, "So yeah, yeah," and they just kind of died off. And I'm like, "Oh, y'all didn't do that good. That was not good. That wasn't good at all." Um, I think that is all I retained from this episode so far. If I missed anything, please let me know down in the comments. I'll see y'all in the next one.